With all the inspiration and the motivation to make a new video, yet all the aggressive symptoms of a debilitating fever, I lay here motionless in my bed while mindlessly watching my favorite background show of all time, Family Guy. Now, there's not really a period of my life where the Griffins have not been in it. Ever since I was a prepubescent kid to a teenager to an adult, the Griffins have been around the entire time through love and hate and characters dying and coming back. And I think it's time to rate the Griffins. The family we love, the characters we know. Peter, Lois, Chris, Brian, Stewie, Dog. We're going to rank them all best to worst. Let me preface this video by saying that I do love all of these characters for different reasons, just some more than others, and every list is subjective, so your list is probably going to be different than my list. So put it down below, let me know where I stack up compared to you, vice versa. And without further ado, my least favorite Griffin, my number 6, might be a surprise, Chris Griffin. Now, Chris is a character that has started to develop more as the show goes on, especially in the later seasons. In the earlier seasons, he was very much a side character and didn't offer too much to the show other than being the bumbling, dumb son, which I don't get too much enjoyment out of in those early seasons. But as it goes on, he becomes more of a standalone character that can kind of hold the weight of an episode better, that I do enjoy. And it's not fully him in an episode, it'll be him with Stewie raising a squirrel, him and Meg fighting an entire cafeteria, him and Peter going on adventures, all these different things that I do enjoy Chris episodes. But as far as just a standalone character, what he offers to the show, he's my least favorite Griffin. But with the way they keep writing these new episodes, we might get more Chris, so that's subject to change. But as of now, Chris Griffin is one of my favorite side characters, but not one of my favorite characters, especially to run a whole episode off of. Coming up next is someone who doesn't really know what it feels like to not be last place, and that is Meg Griffin, the family punching bag, the teenage daughter who gets none of the love. I would say her love ran out about midway season 1. Even then she couldn't catch a break. Peter was blaming stuff on her, and as the show has progressed, she has just taken every bullet that's possible on this show and just keeps trudging along, even to the point where they reference it in an episode where she realizes her purpose on this planet is to be everyone's shitty punching bag. And she accepts that, and that is a sad, sad way to live, but makes for some good episodes, and I like her episodes more so than the Chris episodes. Even when they're standalone, like when she goes to prison, I like her issues in the later seasons dealing with them not even knowing that she's gone and misplacing her as a wooden barrel and faking her own death. Those episodes, that style, I really enjoy where Meg's going with it, and still keeping her the butt of the joke, but making her the focal point of the episode, and I do enjoy that. And it's just timeless to see her get shot by her dad and get a fart ripped in her face, so she deserves a lead episode and still gets treated like trash. Enjoy them. I love the way her character goes, and I hope they never change it. Meg Griffin, 5th place. Coming up next, in 4th place, is a character that has made one of the most drastic changes in the entire series since the beginning, and that is Lois Griffin. The one who seemed to be the glue that could keep it together, with the love, with the care. The mother, you got this bumbling dad, you got the dumb son, you got this teenage daughter, you've got a very knowledgeable dog, and here you have a character that's the love, the enjoyment, the care that a mother is. Cut to season 20, she is a raging alcoholic, cheats on Peter, shits on Brian, shits on Meg. She gets many standalone episodes in the later seasons, and all of them make her a shitbag, and I love them. I love the shift she has made. She has been corrupted by her own family. She was the only beacon of any sort of love in that family, and she has just completely been brainwashed by the rest of them, and she is no better than any of them, from sex tapes to getting addicted to drugs and modeling to abusing Stewie and Meg and getting drunk with the vodka in the bushes. She is just as much of a mess as everyone else in that family, and I love it. Lois Griffin, 4th place. Taking the bronze medal in this list is a character much like Lois that has shifted substantially since season 1, and that is Brian Griffin. He was the knowledge of the family, he had the smarts, every dumb Peter idea. Brian was there to be the angel on his shoulder, the voice of reason. He was the brains, and between season 1 and this last season, he went from smart and intelligent to pretentious, selfish, woman-chasing, worthless, and I love every bit of it. He has amazing character arc. He even died in the middle of the show, which created a complete uproar, which I was fine with. I didn't mind him leaving the show. I like when shows change, but it was definitely a weird vibe without him there. And in these later seasons, his moments with Stewie, his time traveling, all these things really brings out a lot in that character, and he adds a whole different aspect to this show, whereas before he was just that smart voice, and now he is so much of a corrupt piece of garbage like the rest of the family that he is no better than them, and I love where the show takes him, and I'm glad that he is more of a focal point of this show as it goes forward. Taking the silver medal is the most popular character of the show by far, and one of the most iconic animation characters in television history, and that is Stewie Griffin. And now, a lot of people draw a line with Stewie. They're either OG Stewie, where they want What the Deuce and that vile woman, they want him taking over the world, and then there's the other side of this new Stewie, where he's got personality, he carries a lot of the episode, there's an arc, there's a baby-like quality to him. I am in the camp of the later seasons, but there's a sweet spot in the middle, where he's not vindictive and evil, and he's not so personable and conquering jungle gyms and having a rivalry with Doug and daycare, where he's a sweet spot of this aggression and this deviance, but also being a lovable, fun character with some baby-like qualities. And when he teams up with Brian, it becomes the most iconic episodes, and every major episode in this show revolves around Stewie, and I think the creators know how big of a deal he is and how much people love him. You have standalone episodes where he goes to a therapy session, and it's just him in therapy. You have the Brian episodes, time traveling, locked in a safe. You have this growth where he hated Lois, but now he loves Lois but hates her at the same time. You have experiences with him becoming a baby, but also joking that he's still one. You've had episodes where you see him in the future, you have episodes where you see him in the past. I love Stewie. I think he offers so much. The amount of quotable lines that he offers, the amount of quips, the amount of references that he brings. When someone talks about Family Guy, the first person they think of is Stewie, and I love him through all eras, but I especially love that middle time frame when he was a perfect mix of everything that is his character. Stewie Griffin, number 2. Last but certainly not least, number 1, the Family Guy himself, Peter Griffin. And he's not just my number 1 because the show is based around him. He's my number 1 because he's the catalyst for every single character. He's the reason that Lois went from a loving, caring mom to a cheating alcoholic, why Brian went from such a knowledgeable guy to a self-indulging, pretentious douche, the reason Meg hates her life, the reason Chris is never going to become a functioning man. Peter Griffin. He abuses his friends, he abuses his family, but yet there's something lovable about him. No matter what he does, from the Peter Copter to starting a band to being an athlete to ruining the city's electricity and their television and cable, he is the focal point. He is my favorite character. He has the best cutaways, the best lines, and he tries every now and then that makes him such an endearing character. That he is a shitty father, husband, friend, worker, but something endearing that he tries by the end of the episode. And then as soon as the next episode starts, he's just as big an asshole as he was the episode before. He's a horrible figure, father, friend, all of the above, but he is my number 1 and my favorite character of the Griffin family. And that's just the Griffin clan. There's 65 other reoccurring characters that maybe one day I will rank those. I already have a list made of those characters. It's just a matter of doing that. And if that's something you guys would like to see, let me know in the comments down below, and I will give you my ranking of all 65 reoccurring characters. And number one, I don't think will be on anyone's list ever. But that character might even be my favorite character of the entire show. And it's just a reoccurring character that's maybe been in a handful of episodes. So let me know if that's something you guys would like to see. I would like to do a series where I review each season, and then I rank every season, then every episode. If that's something you guys would like, any Family Guy fans out there, let me know. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. I'm sorry this one has been dragging on slow. Doesn't have much enthusiasm, but I am shivering and got cold sweats. But I wanted to record this, and yeah, here we are. So, again, apologize for the quality, but thank you guys for the love and support. Y'all are the best. Peace.